So it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you're scrolling on TikTok. There's a reel with a Transformer robot voice asking which mythical toilet you'd take a crap in with 8 million views and a comment section that appears to have learned English exclusively through watching the Minions. The internet has more users and content than ever, and somehow it's never felt mind-numbingly emptier. This is the dead internet theory. The dead internet theory comes from a forum post in 2021. Nobody knows who wrote it. It wasn't framed as a joke or a thought experiment. It was framed as the actual truth of what happened to the internet. The central claim is this: the real internet died around 2016. Everything after that is not what you think it is. It's not humans sharing thoughts and creating culture and arguing about whether Dwayne Johnson's nipples are real. It's bots, straight up. Corporate engagement farms, government psyops designed to manipulate public opinion, influence consumer behavior, and algorithms optimizing for engagement instead of truth. Real human conversation was replaced by a simulation of human conversation. And most of us didn't notice because the simulation was good enough to feel authentic. Which sounds on the surface completely insane, like the kind of thing a person says after spending 4 hours alone in a dark room, connecting red string between photos on a bulletin board, and requires believing in an implausibly large coordinated effort involving governments, corporations, and AI researchers all working in perfect synchrony to deceive billions of people without leaving any proof. So the original theory got dismissed, it got memed to hell and back, and people joked about it. Until something happened that changed everything. In late 2022, ChatGPT was released, and within weeks, it became the fastest growing application in human history. If you haven't tried it, which I seriously doubt, the core experience is this. You type something and it generates a response that reads like it was written by a human. At least in the beginning of its release, it was. Within months, every social media platform was flooded with AI-generated content. Images, videos, articles, entire influencer accounts run entirely by algorithms. Reddit threads started getting filled with comments that were written by AI, scraping existing Reddit comments. Twitter became a place where you genuinely couldn't tell if you were talking to a person or a bot. Content farms started using AI to mass-produce articles, and those articles got fed into the training data of the next generation of AI models, which made the next generation progressively worse because it was learning from the output of the previous generation instead of learning from new human information. Recommendation algorithms got better at figuring out what would keep you scrolling, which meant they started recommending more AI-generated content and less human content because AI content could be optimized more efficiently. The internet didn't die because the government killed it. It was dying because the economics of content creation incentivized automating it. And that's where the real problem starts. An AI model learns from data, let's say text from the internet, and gets really good at generating text that looks like the training data. Then you feed those AI-generated articles back into the internet, and websites publish them, and other people read them, and other websites scrape them, and those scraped articles get fed back into the training data of new AI models that train on content that was already generated by previous AI models. You feed those new generations back in, and the information gets progressively degraded. The original human insight gets diluted. Now, the original theory is almost certainly not true, but the internet is undeniably becoming progressively more automated. It's becoming more filled with recycled content. It's becoming harder to tell what's genuine and what's been run through an algorithm. The value of authentic human content has skyrocketed because it's become rarer. That's why people are gravitating towards smaller creators who make weird, imperfect content. That's why people still want to know that the person on the other side of the screen is actually a person. The question isn't whether the dead internet theory was right about how the internet died. The question is whether we're going to let it die in the way it's dying now, whether we're going to keep optimizing for engagement and automation and AI-generated content at the expense of the human conversations that made the internet worth having in the first place. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate if you subscribed. Till next time, it's been real.